Welcome back to Giant Monster Games. I'm Adrian, and we are carrying on with part 2 of Day 2 Spoiler Season. Getting straight in, we have Ranger of Eos. Now this is, if you've seen the Soul Sisters deck that I put together, this is actually a card that fits really well into that deck, because the Soul Sisters are 1 mana cost along with Sarah's Ascendant, so this guy becomes a staple if you're playing Soul Sisters. Carrying on, we have a set of 5 different creatures, all with 3 colors, that are going to be extremely cool if you're drafting them, not so good if you're actually building a deck around them. They're okay, and you probably see these guys if you're playing Commander, but they definitely don't see much play in Modern. To list them off really quickly, we have Woolly Tulkar. I'm pronouncing that really bad. Thola, you just read the card, okay? Rox the War Monk, Sprouting Tyrannix, Tower Gargoyles, Spandex something, or I'm not even going to read these cards for you guys. You guys can read them yourselves. Carrying on, though, something that has been spoiled, that we were speculating on a lot, it is Snapcaster Mage. That is right, Snapcaster Mage is being reprinted, finally. It's only been printed like once, and there was a Judge promo that came out a while ago, so it's really nice to see this reprinted. I honestly would love to grab a couple copies of them, and I probably will open a bunch of packs and hopefully open one. It has been, unfortunately, been upshifted to Mythic status, which I think is really dumb, because I think it actually should be a rare card, because it is really high demand. This is not actually going to bring the price down very much, unfortunately, but it is good to see that it has at least been reprinted, and it has some cool new art, which is also kind of fun. The next card we have is I Navigator. If you guys are a Commander player, you guys will probably know this card, because it is fantastic in Commander. Doesn't see a lot of play in Modern, and it might be okay in Draft. I don't know. Not really sure myself, to be honest. The next 2 cards we have is Temporal Mastery and Bonfire of the Damned. I'm clumping them together because they're both miracle cards, and Bonfire of the Damned actually saw a lot of play in Standard when it came out. Doesn't see much play in Modern because it's just not that good. Basically, having to pay 2x plus red is just not that worth it. Temporal Mastery, on the other hand, does see some play in turns, and I think it sees some play in other places, probably Modern as well. No, probably not Modern. Probably Commander as well, it sees some play. The next card we have is Mite of OldChloro. This guy has been crawling up in price lately, and it is good to see that it's getting a reprint, especially at uncommon rating. So if you guys are playing Infect, which is personally one of my least favorite decks out there, I actually have a solid hate on for Infect, to be quite honest. This is actually a really good card for it. So you guys can grab this if you are going to be open some packs. Hopefully you guys open this one. Gravedigger's Cage is the next card we have, and it is a fantastic card. For a very long time, I've been wanting to suggest this as a good sideboard option against Dredge, against Blue, anything that's running Snapcaster Mage, because this really just shuts down every single thing in the graveyard. Things can't come back, spells can't be cast out of it. It really just shuts down at graveyard, which is amazing. So this is really good to see this reprinted, because it is getting way too expensive, and obviously this is not going to bring the price down too much, but it is going to bring it down to a point where you may be able to afford it and actually put it in the sideboard realistically. The next card, Path to Exile, is so amazing. I am so glad that they are reprinting this, and at Uncommon. Oh my god. Uncommon is fantastic, because there needs to be more Path to Exiles out there. This is such a good card for white. I mean, honestly, when I'm playing any white deck that is not a budget deck, I am putting Path to Exile in as like an automatic put in. It's the exact same thing as putting in Lightning Bolt. If you're playing red, you put Lightning Bolt in. If you're playing white, you put Path to Exile in, because it is spot removal, especially like Exile spot removal at that. And the downside actually isn't very bad, especially once you get to the mid to late game where your opponent already has enough lands. Path to Exile is a fantastic card, and I am so glad they're reprinting it at Uncommon level. Speaking of Uncommon level, we have Inquisition of Godlike, which has been re-downgraded to Uncommon again. I was really scared that they may add it back into this set, but do exactly what they did with Conspiracy 2 and left it at Rare. They did not. They brought it back down to Uncommon. So Inquisition of Godlike is now achievable for a much more wider player base. This will actually push this card's price down quite a bit, I think, because it is now going to be in a wider supply-demand. I am so glad, though, that they are reprinting it, and it is reprinted at Uncommon level. Almost finished here, we have Zur the Enchanter. I am not a connoisseur of Commander, but I hear that this guy is an absolute boss and amazing to play in Commander, and honestly, if he wasn't so expensive, I would try and build a deck around him for Modern, but he is quite expensive, and this is nice to see him at least coming in, so he'll hopefully bring the price down a little bit. He is pretty nutty, and obviously going to be pretty fun to play, so if you are playing Commander, hopefully you crack one of these packs with this guy in it. And the absolute last card we have is Stony Silence. I honestly did not think they would be reprinting Stony Silence in this set. I was wrong. I am so glad I was wrong, because this card is amazing. And I all the time wanted to say, hey guys, pick this card up, put it in your sideboard, because it is so good. It basically shuts down Tron. It shuts down a bunch of different combo decks. It's so good. It's just like the sideboard capital. I mean, if you're playing white, you should be putting this in your sideboard all the time. So I'm really glad they're reprinting it. If you guys open this up, it's well worth keeping, especially if you're playing competitive Magic. If you're not playing competitive Magic, if you're kind of a casual player, then yeah, maybe this isn't a very good open for you, but if you are, it is a fantastic open. And that is going to sum up all of the spoilers for Day 2 of Modern Masters 2017. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe if you guys like this video and want to see more like it, because that would make my life very happy. I will see you guys tomorrow, or more likely you'll see me tomorrow, as we carry on spoiler season for Modern Masters. Until next time, don't forget to game like a giant monster.